Hello, I'm Raddon.
I'm Libby.
And we're going to introduce you to characters from our little garden, and we're going to use folk music to do that. Folk music like you've just heard, which was Hole's Reel. But first we're going to introduce our instruments. So Libby has a violin.
Yeah, so this is my violin. It has 4 strings, G, D, A and E. And I can make lots of different sounds on the violin. So to start with, I can make quiet sounds with a really slow legato bow. But if I want to, I can play really fast. And I can also play really high. And if I want to get all the way back down again, I can do a big slide. And I can also play lots of notes at the same time.
Yeah, so this is an accordion, completely different to the violin, and one thing about it that you might notice is that it can stretch all the way out there and probably a bit further if my arms were longer. But both hands have to do different things, so my right hand over here has got this long keyboard where I usually play the tune on the top, and then the left hand has lots of buttons that I can't see, so I have to have a little map in my head just to sort of figure out where they're going to be and where my fingers should end up. So they're all low, and then they've also got chords on top, so I can do things like things like that. And then together they make a nice big sound. Like that. So now you've heard our instruments. Oh, just one more thing. You've got the piano, which is going to come in the next tune, I think, or the one after this one. And that is basically a long one of these. It makes a sound in a different way, but it's laid out the same as these. So you'll hear that in a bit. So now you've heard our instruments. The first character we're going to introduce from the garden is Molly the mouse.
Yes, so Molly likes to scuttle around our garden, and she likes to collect dandelions and take them back to the tunnel where she came from. So the tune that we're going to play as Molly's tune is actually called the Peat Dance, and it's a Danish traditional folk song.
And listen out for the second half where there's a lot of scuttling going on. It gets a lot faster. Hope you enjoy it. we hope you enjoyed Molly's tune there, especially scuttling around at the end. And the next character we're going to introduce you to comes from inside our little pond. So they live underwater, and that's Sekstur the snail. So not like the snails you see on the ground, this one lives all the time underwater. And she spends most of her life just sort of nibbling plants at the bottom of the pond, or sometimes floating upside down on the surface like you're just about to see. And the tune we've chosen for Sekstur is an Irish tune. It's called Tabhair Dom Do Lámh, which means give me your hand. Now, snails don't have any hands, as you probably know, but they do have one very big foot. So in this case it will just be give me your foot. I'm not quite sure what's going on. But anyway, I'm going to play the tune on the piano, and Libby's going to play violin again. Here we go.
Our next character also comes from the pond. His name is Pablo the Pond Skater. So he spends his days skating around the pond, and he actually can't swim, so he has little hairs on his feet that repel the water to let him skate around and be really speedy and catch lots of flies. So our tune for Pablo was actually written by Raddon, and it's called Ditsum, and he's going to be joining me back playing the accordion for this one.
Pablo the pond skater spends his life on top of the surface of the pond. The next one is going to come from underneath the surface, and that's Timmy the tadpole. So in the video you'll see him swimming around and nibbling on things, but actually the tadpole is just one stage in the life cycle of a frog. So the piece we've chosen has a big transformation in the middle, which maybe seems like Timmy transforming into a frog, growing legs, that sort of thing. And the piece is called Do People Still Do This? It's by a Scottish violinist called Aidan O'Rourke. And listen out for somewhere in the middle towards the end, there's a transformation and it starts to drift apart and change the feel of it. So see if you can imagine the tadpole growing legs and turning into something new at that point. Here we go.
So we're going to be leaving the pond to introduce our final character, which is Bella the bee. We often like to see Bella buzzing round our garden, going around all of the flowers and sipping up all of the nectar, collecting pollen and just generally buzzing around.
But the tune we've chosen for Bella is a bit of a sad one, and it's not so buzzy this time because lots of our bees, especially bumblebees like Bella, are declining. Some of them are dying out, and so that's for lots of reasons, but we've got to preserve and plant more flowers where we can to help bees like Bella. So here we go. This is a little sad tune. It's a Swedish waltz called Waltz after Lasse in Lyby.
So, now that you've heard all of our characters in the garden, we'd like to play you a tune that sums up what we think it's like to be outside, seeing all of our favourite characters buzzing around or scuttling about and skating on the pond.
So what we're going to do is do a little improvisation using all of the characters' themes. So we're just going to go quickly recap what they were. So we had Molly the Mouse, which was... And then we had Saoirse the Snail, which was a slower one. And then next was the Pond Skater, that's Pablo, and he was a bit more frenetic. And after that was the Tadpole, swimming in all different directions and transforming. And after that was Bella the Bee. So she was had a little sad tune. So we're going to mix all of those together and make a little soundscape for what it's like to be outside in the garden. And after that, blend into one final tune, which is by the fiddler Aidan O'Rourke again. And that's just going to sum up what it's like to be outside, and we hope you can get outside today as well. So thank you very much for coming to our concert, and I hope you enjoy this last piece. Thank you.